here at Backstage, pass out laughing. Yes, sir, here at Backstage, staying on topic with conversation, make you think, hey, please don't be scared, making a fuss, they jokes, partner, please lighten up, cause comedy's about making life funny, bruh. And if you're ready for the show now, follow me backstage, cause it's about to go down.
And welcome once again. It is DL's Backstage Pass Conversations, where we give you the hottest music, hottest interviews, talk and topics this side of heaven, and all the funny you can handle. Yours truly, the voice, Mr. Sadwar Fair, the DL Marshall, and we've got a awesome conversationalist on today. Man, he is hilarious. He is right now currently touring the Rock the Mic tour with none other than the hilarious Tony Rock. This brother is hilarious in his own right. Man, I'm telling you, there is no greater 1-2 punch. And then when it's this gentleman, I almost gave away my guess. When it's this gentleman, when it's Tony Rock, when it's Trey Elliott, when it's Wavy McGuire, man, that is one hefty power-packed comedy show. Rock the Mic, pun intended. Ladies and gentlemen, I love his Instagram handle. He goes by the Instagram handle of Joe Feezy. You got to pop that collar when you know for Feezy for Reezy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome backstage for Backstage Conversations with today's conversationalist, Mr. Joe Fox. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, the DL Marshall?
You got to get it in.
Yeah. I need a little collar there,
Yes, sir.
The Henley on, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, brother.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man, I'm good. I appreciate you coming on DL's Backstage Pass Conversation, man. As I told you when we were backstage, pun intended, man, that wallpaper behind you, bro, that day, man, you might have to cut a slice of that, roll it down, and take that with you.
Hey, man, it looks pretty. Yeah, I look like I'm living lavish up in this hotel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, so Joe, do me this favor, man. For those of our listeners, shame on them if this is their first time, but it gives them an opportunity to look you up as soon as they get done watching us backstage here in this conversation. But let our listeners, let our viewers know just who is Mr. Feezy Joe Fox.
Well, I am an actor, comedian actor. You can find me on Instagram on that handle right there, Joe Feezy, JoeFeezie. Follow me, add me to your page. Check out some of my commentary, pictures. If you like it, you like it. Great. If you don't, like it anyway, and leave a comment. It's all good. Just love to perform stand-up comedy. I'm currently in West Nyack, so that's an hour ahead of you, right? Right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Right. Yeah, I'm in that's West Nyack, New York, at the Levity Live, a comedy club. We're having an awesome time, and we're just on the road doing these shows, man. We got Dayton, Ohio coming up. We got Arlington. Actually, we'll be in Arlington, Texas at the Arlington Improv this New Year's Eve weekend. So that's gonna be hype. That's gonna be a good one. So
dope.
Got any listeners in the Texas area or just surrounding there? Just fly in, get a hotel. Now it's gonna be a dope show.
Yeah. And we do definitely have a high-end Dallas and Houston market. So you guys make sure y'all go hang out with Joe, Tony for New Year's Eve. We got a chance to check out Joe, Tony, Trey, and Wavy a couple of years ago, New Year's Eve in Kansas City, Missouri. You guys came out dressed the way I like to dress on stage. It gave that rat or brat pack kind of look to it, man. Yeah, that flair. And what I like about it, Joe, is, man, I did not feel cheated on any one of y'all. That group of four, anyone could have opened, anyone could have hosted, Hey, there you go. There you go. Is that something, Joe, that just took form like Voltron immediately? Or how did that stack, bro?
Well, I think out of all of us, I've been touring with Tony the longest. I've known Tony for years. And recently we started doing consistently doing New Year's Eve shows because it's such a hot show, and Tony's marketable, like a favorite like that. Um, so we've been touring, adding, different people, and then we landed on myself and Trey, the most consistent, and that's just been a really good fit, a high energy show, especially when we get to tour together.
Yeah.
And those New Year's shows, man, I mean, there's nothing like it. I don't know what we're gonna wear this year. We haven't really landed on, a look. I mean, the classic, tuxedo look,
Yeah.
that's always dope. But we always want to have our own look to whatever. Now we was in Kansas City. I remember that. I was probably maybe about 20 extra pounds I didn't want.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. We were still coming off that COVID situation.
Yeah. So that COVID 20 was in full
Mhm.
effect. But now I'm down. I'm slipped down a little bit. But I remember that show because I don't know exactly which one you came to, but I remember that old dude up front had that pistol. You remember that dude? Was you at that show? Boy, Kansas
Hey,
City. Boy.
I was like, bruh, y'all need some metal wand detectors before
How
y'all
about a
start.
bulletproof vest? That dude
Yeah,
had a pistol. He was drunk and had a pistol, and then nobody at the club checked this dude. He was drunk, falling all over the stage, and we was like, "That's a
pistol.
heater." He had a heater in
Yeah.
his pocket. I was like,
Gee,
"Man,
thanks, Kansas City. Thanks, Kansas City. Way to make us memorable. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to show you how well you guys did
okay,
because through the improv, and I believe it's Amanda, shout out, I got a
yes,
chance to come back. And so not only did I get a chance to witness the Ball and Bailey act with the dude with the strap, but also remember the drunk lady that she waited good until Tony got on stage and just wanted to be just a nuisance, and he carved her up, man,
oh no,
something wonderful.
this is a few weeks ago or
No,
that New Year's Day?
this was the New Year's Eve show, the
Oh,
second
okay,
show
oh
of the
yeah,
New
it was
Year's Eve
chaos.
show.
I remember that
Yeah,
specifically, but I could just imagine because see that's the thing about our tour. We, you know, we're professionals, so if there's like a problem, like somebody drunk or whatever, heckler or whatever, it's like we do what we can do to manage that. But if we got to lay into them, we got to lay into them. But if there's like little things and stuff like that we are, okay, Tony's gonna love this. Tony's gonna, we'll save it for him. Maybe
yeah,
if we can. That's like I see this dude. Okay, let me not talk about him too much because Tony's gonna come back, say the same thing, and it'd be like not fresh. So we have to like,
yeah.
sometimes we got to take it, take the L on that and just like let it ride, or do what we can. But yeah, that I don't remember that one specifically, but I could just imagine Tone just look ripping into some drunk lady, made her the show. Oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Now, you two just left maybe about a couple of weeks ago. Like you said, it was
right.
right after week one with the
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs. And you
Yeah.
guys, man, you guys did with two of you what a lot of people can't accomplish with a feature, an open, and a closer.
Really? Tell me
Yeah,
what you
like
mean by
no,
that.
that's it for real, man. Like sometimes you can see the struggle, and as a comedian myself, I went to a show last night. I won't mention no names,
Why not?
but nah. I
Hey,
mean,
hey,
listen,
where
Joe.
now? Where was it? Where was it?
It was at the Improv. It was
Oh,
in
you can
Kansas
look at the
City.
calendar. You can just look at the
There
calendar.
you go. There you go. See,
You can look
I
at the
used
calendar.
not
Check it out.
have, no chill, and so to become commercial, I try to give a little tact so that we continue to get folk in like yourself to be like,
That's
nah,
fair.
this dude, he a lie wire. But I will say this: it was not the headliner that struggled. The headliner was cool,
Okay.
but it was his opening feature that, yeah, it was kind of, how it is sometimes we can be
No, I
on
don't.
stage and you can allow the crowd in to hear a little too much, like you want to do a little too much crowd work instead of just jabbing them real quick, keeping them off of you, and then getting back into what it is you came to do. You could start to tell he was frazzled.
Yeah, that's always that's what I was saying before. Sometimes when you go to the crowd as a featured act and you're in the crowd too much, and it's different when the headliner doesn't do that at all.
Yeah,
But when he does, a lot of the times he's seeing the same thing that you see. It's the same people, so they're not changing the room around. So he addresses it as a professional, but it seems like it's an old topic because it's
yeah,
already been addressed. Here's an example of that. Hey, who in this room is married? All the
yeah.
married people is, they start clapping and stuff like that, and maybe there's a married couple in the front and you do some banter with. So if the headliner comes in and said, all right, who's married, and then that same front couple, it's like they answering the question again, and
All
then he
over
starts
again.
talking about, so it's like it's not fresh. It's like the last dude was already there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And that's what I saw what you guys do so professionally and so fluidly. It's almost like a sports team, Joe, to where you know that I'm gonna run this route. And if I see Tony starting to scramble, I'm gonna slice down my route. That way, I make sure that he still has space to complete the pass, if for lack of a better terminology.
yeah, sometimes it works like that, but I tell you, that's the mark of a true headliner, a true professional. It don't matter what the person in front of them does. As long as you're not doing the headliner's material,
Material.
because I mean that sometimes that happens. Believe it or not, it's like, yo, that's my material. Like, it has never happened on the Rock the Mic tour. I tell you that right now. But sometimes you'll hear of a featured act. By the end of the week, they're doing some of the headliners material, whether it's the actual joke or the subject matter. And it's
The
like, hey,
subject matter. Yeah.
yes, you got to play your position. You got to play your position on that. Don't do the headliners material because you think it's fire. Write your own stuff.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And it's the punch up is good when you have a universal topic, such as presidential things and political things. But you
Right.
gotta also make sure that you consistently got that pen on some paper, for lack of a better term, working on your craft.
Right.
Each city that we go into presents new material, man, and I see where you guys get that. Y'all really do.
It does. I think, for me as a perfectionist, I'm a conversation. You seen that? I'm a conversational type comedian. So
Yeah.
all the conversations are different, but inherently the same in subject matter and topics. And I think the longer you do this, you can get those experiences in other cities and see where everything's relatable. That's how you be consistent with your material,
Yeah.
because every city is different, but the people are inherently the same. So that's how you can relate to them in their local scenario, in their local city, but you can still have the same material. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You're
Yes,
not
sir.
really changing. Okay, I'm going to Kansas City. I got to do this material, or I can't do this material in this city because that only works in Kansas City.
Gotcha.
You don't want to do that. You want to do your same material, but just adjust and add little special things for each city because you know that city. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Like I have a joke that I talk about one of my uncles, and when he first discovered Niagara or Viagra, and Niagara is what he called it. And
Yeah.
I was in Houston.
Right.
And so I said I took my uncle down to Bensonet, and he was on that Niagara, and I don't ain't seen him since. Well, that's their local adult entertainment district. So of course that killed in Houston.
Yeah.
But I can still utilize that joke wherever I go.
Oh yeah, that's like referencing where the hood is.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, a comedian that's been all over, all he has to do is remember the streets or look it up before. But he's talking about the joke is about the hood, not necessarily about the street.
There you
So
go.
when I go to a local town and I know where the hood is, I just name that street, and it seemed like I know the city a little bit better.
Yeah, and
So,
it draws in the audience like, okay, yeah, he
yep,
down, he one of us. He's
yep, yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Joe Fox in the building backstage behind the curtain. Today's popping his collar dope conversationalist. He's on the Rock the Mic tour right now. He's preparing for this evening with none other than the comedic master himself, Mr. Tony Rock. Hey, Joe, you said out of Trey, out of Wavy, you have been rocking with Rock the longest. How did that relationship come about?
Okay. I started doing stand up in Dallas, Texas, and during that time, headliners would come in. I always try to see the black headliners or my favorite comedians. The comedians that I like to watch. Tony came in town, and this is not long after he first started headlining. If you can imagine, he kind of started headlining a little quicker because of the name, but
Yeah.
trust and believe he earned it.
Oh,
Just
yes,
like
sir.
everybody else earned it. It's just this. This is how far back it was when Tony didn't have a bio. It was just he's Chris Rock's brother. That's how they built. I'm talking about on the website. No bio. They just had his picture.
Wow.
And next to it, he's Chris Rock's brother. That was his thing. That's how long ago this was.
Wow.
So it didn't take long, but he got his own bio. That's what he worked in. So anyway, he came to Dallas when he still had the 3-sentence, 3-word bio. So
Tony Rock's brother.
yeah. Yeah. So if you could imagine Tony Rock now, that's who he was back then, like fully realized, Brooklyn style, fast walking, fast talking Tony Rock back then. Okay. So
Yeah.
he came to Dallas, and like we were around virtually the same age. And like, okay, after the show, like, hey yo, man, what club is there?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I got a spot we can go to. I took him to the club. So it was on one of those nights where it's like, okay, there's some celebrity in the house. So we got into the club, and then we go into the VIP, and it's like it's like the sea was parting for him. It's like his
Yeah.
face was like oh, is that this was back then.
Right.
So we go to the VIP section, and it's like, man, isn't that Tony Rock right there? And there's like some celebrities, some Dallas Cowboys. Shamar Moore was that night. So
wow.
yeah, it just happened to be one of those nights. So goes into the VIP. He ain't from here. He over here, hey, we're pointing to people and knowing people. I'm from there and I don't know anybody. What's going on? So they saw, okay, we recognize him. They pulled back the velvet rope. And then as soon as he walked by, they clamped it back up. I said, no, I'm with him.
Right.
So I was like, you're Rock. He's like, oh, yeah. So they let me in like I'm the tag along. I said,
and I'm at home. I'm at home.
It's my city, man. So what's going on? So we hung out that night. It was cool. It was a cool time, and I saw another show. We just started hanging out. And then, when he left, I got his number. We didn't stay in contact like that, but there were other comedic events like Laugh-A-Palooza. Saw him again at that, and then chopped it up a little bit. And then it wasn't until I actually moved to LA is when, we started hanging out and doing shows after the fact. I'm like, when you go to LA, I mean, you've been in Kansas City for a minute, but when you go to another town to some comedians that it's like, yo, man, you live here now?
Yeah. Like,
this is what we do. So from there, we started touring, going whenever he went back to Dallas. He hit me up, and then we would go, and off and on for several years. And now it's like it's the hottest comedy show. I have some perspective of working other headliners, and that's what I prayed for, brother. Like, I want to work with headliners that have good followings, people I can learn from, people I can work with, and that has what has happened. So that's what has happened every step of the way. So
now, how long had it taken you before you realized, man, I got to get out of Dallas and head up to LA?
I don't think it happened like that for me. It was more. I was following a chick.
That'll do it.
Don't do that.
That'll do it, Joe. Joe, that'll
Ever
do it.
do that? Don't follow no follow your dreams, not a chick.
So sometimes
Don't do
that
that.
chick is the dream. Sometimes that chick is the dream. You know, they say
If
follow your
the
dream.
chick is the dream, then you ain't gonna make it with nothing else. Hopefully, you keep the chick.
Don't wake up. That's right.
People
Or
wake
don't
up.
wake up.
People wake up from dreams.
Right. but I digress. So you followed out to LA, and then what made you say, hey, I can do it out here?
I mean, I already knew that. I mean, keep in mind, I had already started doing stand up. So
Mm-hmm.
when I moved to California, when I moved to LA, like naturally, I'm like, okay, where can I go up? So I went towards the mic. I said, where are the mics at? So
Yeah.
it didn't take me long to, start performing, in LA. So it was just like I had to, move in, find my spot, and I knew people already, and I already knew where I wanted to do. And I'll say this to any comedians that are not from LA that are thinking about moving to LA, do what you want to do, but I recommend visiting there a couple of times. Visit,
Yeah.
visit there a couple times, and then see what's out there, and network and make some connections, especially with any comedians that come to town. Tell them, say, hey, where hey, I'm thinking about visiting. Where should I go? And make some calls, man. Just don't go out there wandering around. You ain't gonna hit the mic. Don't nobody know you.
Yeah,
Don't
true.
nobody know you. Yeah.
Yep. That's how you wind up coming out there and having a street job without wanting a street job, if you know what I mean.
You're gonna do that. You're gonna do that anyway, unless you just some. I can't say that. You keep a clean show, unless you just a superstar in your own mind. Everybody, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. Unless you got a trust fund, uh,
Right.
or or you have your parents or somebody secretly funding your life, you're gonna have to get your money on your own, because
That's
people don't
right.
want to talk about what they actually do to make it out there.
Or
Don't nobody want to talk.
unless you got a street agent by the name of Big Red to drive a blue Cadillac rolling up on you every 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah. You doing something strange with some change, or somebody strange is trying to give you some change, a little
There
change.
you
Man.
go.
No. People, it's a hustle, it's a grind. Everybody got their own story, but you gonna have to do something that you don't want to do in order to get to where you want to be.
Want to be. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Joe Feezy in the building. Joe Fox, comedian. He's hilarious, man. And I appreciate him giving us his time before he rocks that mic on tonight. Again, you guys are where at, Joe?
We're at Levity Live Comedy Club in West Nyack, New York.
West Nyack, New York. And
Yep.
man, I'm telling y'all in for it. If there is still tickets available, because I'm sure you guys are a hot commodity out in New York on the East Coast. If there are any tickets left, I would admonish you guys to go out and get your tickets. Now,
Yeah.
Joe, you said something, bro, that you made me think. You landed with a dope headliner, because you can tell you are able to be Joe Fox without somebody like, all right, don't do that, and don't go out, don't be too funny. Have you ever been on the road with a headliner that said, yo, enough, but not too much?
No, I've never had that problem. I've been fortunate enough just to be myself, do my material, and and I used to, hey, is there any topics you don't want me to talk about? As a beginner, like I tried that a couple times, but who I was working with, it was like, no, I don't care what you do. You do
Yeah.
you. You
Yeah.
do you. And I don't worry about stuff like that. If it becomes a problem, let them tell me. Then I'll make the adjustment just as a professional. But um, that's not a good fit if that has to happen. It really
Definitely.
isn't. There's a lot of comedians out there that will do just that. Hey, don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. Depending on who it is, you need to do your job. I get it, but sometimes when they do that, it's just not a good fit. And if you want to, back off of, if you have to back off of who you are at the request of somebody else, then what does that say about you? What does that say about you?
Right.
Be a professional, yes, but why take away, lessen yourself for somebody else to shine? That's not what we're here for. We're here to grow and shine together. If my light outshines yours, then I'm not gonna be with you for very long anyway.
That's definitely true. And
Shine on,
every time
brothers
I
and
look up,
sisters, shine on.
every time I look up in the sky at night, I never see the moon tap a star on the shoulder to say, "Hey, dim a little bit, dim." I mean, everybody shine, and that makes the show that much greater. And that's why you guys got a dope project, man. That's exactly
Appreciate that,
why.
brother.
Yeah. Now, do you have any aspirations, or is there anything in the works for a Joe Fox special?
I definitely want to do that when the timing is right. I actually, as I mentioned before, I do acting too. I'm an actor, so I'm auditioning. I'm in class as much as I can because I want to be in TV and film. I'm probably like I would love to do the film, but I'm leaning. Is probably the reality is I'm probably going to end up on this TV because that's what I audition the most for. A lot of TV
Yeah,
shows.
yeah,
Uh, but I definitely sometimes I'll do film as well, But my aspiration is to get on, the big screen and on the TV, as well as do stand up, continuing to do stand up, and I like podcasts like this, the long form content. So maybe I'll start with something like that. It's just time, brother, time,
yeah. Oh yeah, oh
and
yeah.
wanting to put my best foot forward. But nowadays there's a whole bunch of trash out there. Don't nobody care. Just put something out there. So that's probably what I'm
Yep.
going to end up doing. You know, see what see what see what you can monetize. But you just got to keep on keeping your face out there, and that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah, it's a lot to what you just said right there. Keeping your face out there or staying relevant, man. The greats, they make sure they can continue to make themselves relevant without compromising who we come to love them to be. And
Yeah.
when you look around at people like Dave Chappelle had so many releases on Netflix, but a lot of people don't realize a lot of that stuff was already taped and ready to go, so we're watching him release, but we're not realizing how long it took him to do those and got them ready for the release. So that old adage as a watch seed never grows. Man, that brother planted those specials a long time ago when we were looking the other way. Then all of a sudden, up pops up a bouquet of comedy that's just devastating. And now he's using that same format to put on some of the OGs of comedy, man. And I can really see that taking place with you, Rock, and the fellas, man. So y'all got that same formula rolling.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I like what you said. A bouquet of comedy. I like that. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
it's like they can pick from his comedy tree, and it's like they got to pay every time. They got to
That's
pay
it.
every time. Yeah, that I think he had was like three. It was one he did in Texas, I believe, if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken,
I think
and then
we know the closer was the last.
he had a
Sticks and
closer. Yeah.
Stones was the first. Something about a bird or something was
Like
one.
amenity or something like
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Yeah,
But
so yeah,
man.
isn't that something? It's like I think he released something where it was like a backstage type thing. It's like after the show, it was like extra
Yep.
jokes after. It's like wow, yeah, sell them that too, sell it.
There you go. And I think that one had Tony's brother Chris backstage with him on one of them, to where you kind of just showing a flex a little bit, like why y'all talking about what's happening up front. This is what's happening backstage. Deals are being
Yeah, I
done.
like that. I
Yeah.
like that. There's somebody just filmed a new like some another comedy stand up documentary. I haven't checked it out yet. But that's always good to see another side of our lives as comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always good. Also, check out Guy Tori's Fat Tuesday documentary. That's on Amazon
Yes,
Prime,
I
I believe.
loved it. I
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, and that, as a comedy geek, Joe, that
yeah,
fires me up
yeah.
because I look at Joe, I look at a guy, I look at Cedric. You know, they're just a couple of hours down I-70 from me, and then to have one of the comedy iconic legends come from the same city, in Eddie Griffith. You know, Eddie got a chance to see me younger and raw, and he told me I got to get out of, you got to get out of Kansas City and go do your thing, because the way the comedy format and structure was and can still be in Kansas City isn't for, and I'm borrowing from isn't for,
Say
it
that.
ain't
Say
for,
that.
I said a lot of the comedy structure in Kansas City, I'm borrowing from you. It ain't for, it was for, yeah. So
Yeah.
so we had to create our own,
Yes.
and Eddie did that, and I
Yeah.
got a chance to come and even sharpen more of my urban skill at his open mic nights too. It impressed on me to start doing something like that myself.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I like what you said, man. Ownership and starting your own. I think it's always it. I think every comedian, whether at any level that you are, especially if you're starting, start your own thing, because that's really how you get on stage. I did that when I was in Dallas, and it's, I like to see how well things have progressed since I've gone, since I moved on to Hollywood.
yeah,
I've always loved to see people do their own productions. It's not the big mainstream shows. This is for us. It's from the soil. It's for our people, or whoever. It's for everybody, but it's our people that started. Black people. When we start comedy rooms, it's profitable. Mainstream rooms, improvs, and funny bones. They know this. Everybody got their black night because they know it's going to pay the bills for a few months. So
there you
the
go.
good ones. The good ones stick around. Matter of fact, shout out to Nichelle Murdoch. She's about to cross 20 years at the Comedy Store. She's been doing a
Wow.
show at now that was it was a black show, but it's part of the mainstream. Black people come to it, but
Yep.
it's for everybody, and she puts on a great show, and it's been going on and giving comedians like me and others a mic for 20 years. That's 2 decades. That's one of the longest running consistent mics in Hollywood at the Comedy Store. Yeah,
Man, dope. Shout out and salute too.
yeah.
And Joe, I tell you this too, man. Whenever your schedule makes available for you, starting November the 11th, we're taping Bam and
My
our,
birthday.
huh?
My birthday.
Oh, all right then. And mine is November 24th.
All right.
So yeah.
All right.
So November the 11th, Bam and I are gonna be hosting Backstage All the Funny. We're gonna tape from 8 to 1, and we're gonna try to put together sort of like music meets comic view, and try to spotlight some up and coming
A music piece.
comedians
What?
along with some favorites. So yeah.
Say that one more
And
time. It might be my
oh, okay.
hotel.
I said we're going to try to present to people some up and coming comedians, and then also some favorite comedians as well, that will have that space, and that's also going to air on the EGO network. It's going to be called Backstage All the Funny. So we
Oh,
got that coming up, and then
that's what's up.
starting in March of 2024, we will have our own every Wednesday comedy night for us at the Blue Room. So yeah, that will definitely keep you abreast on that.
That's right. Yeah, we were there. I think we were there like 2 nights in a row.
Yeah,
Last night, yeah, not last night. A couple weeks ago, the Blue Room.
I saw y'all down there doing some karaoke, and yeah. So yeah, we're getting that opened up to us, man. And you know the vibe in there. That's a nice kind of throwback looking room.
Right.
And yeah, man, it's about this comedy, and so we looking forward to the endeavor, bro. Man, we got about a couple of more minutes, Joe, and we're gonna let you go. Man, I know you, like you said, you do the conversation style. So when we come back after this break, we want to give you the opportunity to let us into the mind of Joe Fox and how he kind of curates and come up with a lot of his
Sure.
thoughts and methods of comedy. But we're going to get into one of your bits, man, that I find hilarious and that I just referenced. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to put your hands together. Here is the comedy stylings of our guest conversationalist backstage, Mr. Joe Feasy, Joe Fox.
Yeah, see, most of the time when I perform for us. Us. You know what I'm talking about. See, this is you. This is you. You, us. Yeah, that's how we talk at work when we don't want to give the racial distinction of who we really talking about all out in the open. We don't say the race, we point us. Them. Somebody says, shh, you know that's what we do. Like if you have a good job, you have that company lunch, that potluck, and everybody brings a dish, right? You just don't dive right in. You want to know who brought what first. You don't want to offend anybody, so you like, who brought this chocolate cake right here? I think Catherine did. Which Catherine are you talking about?
Hey y'all, it is Sean Lee House of Sean Lee House Photography, and I'm backstage enjoying my favorite radio show and podcast, DL's Backstage Pass on Marsh Media Backstage Entertainment. Hey.
Hey, what's happening, man? Yours truly, Mr. Sad Warfare. It's everywhere. As you can see, it's a dang DL moment, but we want to let you know right now that while you in between catching flights, go to our friends over at Low Cost Airline, 1-800-507-3777, and you can go everywhere like Mr. Sad Warfare. Tell them DL sent you. Once again, tell them you heard it backstage. Low Cost Airlines, 1-800-507-3777. Hey, look here, I'm about to go catch this flight because you know how they get when they shut that door. They don't want to let you in the aircraft. But again, you want to take a flight, you want to be everywhere like Sad Warfare, tell them DL sent you. Call over Low Cost Airlines, 1-800-507-3777. Yeah, all right, man, I'm on my way.
The voice, Mr. Sad Warfare, the DL Marshall, along with our guest conversationalist on today, Mr. Joe Fox. Joe Feasy is backstage in the building. So, bro, how did that feel looking back? I mean, it's hard for me to watch because I don't want to go and overly critique myself. But how is that for you?
I like that. I like that, John. That's one of my that's a signature bit of mine that anytime I see it, it's like, okay, yeah, it's a universal joke. That one's gonna be hard to get rid of. And like if I did a special, that I'm sure that's gonna be on it.
Yeah, I love that bit.
I can always that bit is at the point where I can insert it anytime. I used to just open up with that. Sometimes I do. I don't have to anymore, but I like just throwing it in. It's universal. That's even universal in mostly white rooms sometimes. I change it up just a little bit, but black folk, we understand that everywhere.
Yes, sir.
It don't matter. We understand that concept of us and them, and that joke has evolved a little bit. I say, all right, okay, what didn't I say? Because I know I've added to that bit quite a bit. That was that. I don't know how long ago that was. That was at the Parlor in Washington, in Seattle.
Wow. Okay.
Washington. So that club, I don't think he's even there anymore. But that was a long time.
Yeah, they gravitated to it just like they still do now. And like what I was getting to before we got into your stand-up bit was take us in the mind of Joe Fox and how do you filter or when do you say, okay, yeah, no, or does it take you getting to the stage and say, okay, they didn't laugh at this portion as much, so I'm gonna dial it back or I'm gonna punch it up?
Are you talking about in terms of the type of audience, the demographic of the audience?
No, like just your material period, because you appear to me that if it's a joke that you think is funny and something you work, you don't care the room. You gonna go in with it. But like
Right.
how long does it take for you to say, okay, this is the way that can roll, opposed to let me pull back a little bit when I'm here or punch up?
Oh, okay. Sometimes I feed off the energy of the audience. There's always sometimes there's some speed bumps in the road, but if I pull back, I know I feel like, man, I shouldn't have pulled back, or I feel it. And as a professional, it's like you can't get in your feelings about it. Look, just keep on going. You've got plenty more material. Do your time as a professional, but sometimes it's like, man, they're not feeling it. Let me adjust gears. Or if you have a few people that's feeling you play to them. Everybody
Yeah,
else, but I mean, I don't care anymore. It's like I don't care to pander. If it's not going well, and it's like pulling teeth. Sometimes those nights is like that.
yeah,
Especially if I'm not the headliner, then my job is to bring the room up, get it up right here, and have good energy for the next man, the headliner coming up. I just do my time. If it ain't working, it ain't working. I get them next time. It ain't. But usually it works.
yeah.
I'm doing good material. Now, if I'm risking this, I gotta try some new stuff. My headspace is, let me see what it's gonna do, and take the pressure off myself. Oh, it didn't work. It's a new joke. Hey, you work on it. That's why we work. I record my stuff, and let's get them next time. That's not the end all be all.
Right.
End all be all. So you got to put it out there. See how far you can go. So that's what I like to do. Take some risks and see how far I got. Because I got, since the last time I can't remember if I did. I have some news jokes that are like on the line. People are like, "What are you talking about? It's real."
Right.
I be
Right.
talking about
We
I
got
be
to be.
talking about side chicks. Yeah, not every comedian, but a lot of comedians talk about side chicks, but not like me.
You're right. Right.
And
Right.
since I'm not a superstar, since I'm not Dave Chappelle, it's a hard pill for them to swallow. They can't
Yeah.
believe I'm talking about that. No, I'm talking about it, and I go in on that because I feel that very strongly.
Hey Joe, the
Yeah,
guy Bam Brown. Shout out to my co-host Bam Brown. That we're on the road
shout
together
out.
as the gentleman of comedy. And a lot of venue spaces that we do. We do churches, we do marriage retreats, we do comedy clubs, we do event spaces.
Yeah.
But can you picture going into a marriage retreat or a church, a pastor and wife anniversary, and Bam has this bit where he goes, "All right, now let me ask this question: how many of y'all cheat?" And it bubbles over from there, man. And that dude has me in stitches every time he draws them in like that.
What's funny? What's funny? When I first started doing that side chick material,
Uh-huh.
there's a there's a clean show in LA at the family room, and that's at a church. That's at Bishop Ulmer's church, like a little side you know location where they do comedy shows, and that's a clean show, but it's mostly church folk.
Yeah.
Now I did that side chick material, and I put it in their face. Now we're gonna deal with it here. And I figured, now if I can make this work here, I can make it work anywhere. So
Amen.
so that joke ain't designed for you to just like, oh, no, it's designed to make you squirm in your seat and accept the truth.
Hey, and when I was coming up, some of the tutelage I got is you are
Yeah,
being an effective comedian when you can make folk uncomfortable with their laughter. Like, oh, I want to laugh, but should I laugh?
yeah,
And next thing you know, it erupts. It erupts.
yeah, yeah. I think my comedy is truth based, you know. even if it's a lie, it's based on the truth. Because all lies are based on truth.
Yeah,
You
we,
can't
we,
tell a
we put
lie.
100 on 10. We put 100 on 10.
You can't tell a lie without knowing the truth. So,
That's right. That's why you're lying. You're covering up the truth.
no, everything is truth. Like it's from a spirit of truth. That's where the jokes sometimes can touch you in a way where it is uncomfortable because they say the truth hurts. The laugh receptors, those are pain receptors, and we
That's
we
right.
we respond in a special way when a comedian or someone can invoke laughter like that. We're dealing
Yeah,
with pain, man, because
that's
we're
right.
like,
Like, oh, he
that is funny.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a comedy is like an aspirin, like make you feel a bit better. That aspirin, that soothing feeling is laughter about something that's messed up in your life that you're not comfortable with.
Hey,
Yeah,
and you know what, Joe?
yeah,
I agree, because if that comedy is, if that laughter is the medicine, then the joke is the aspirin, and you're gonna
yeah.
have to swallow it to get the effect. So
Oh,
yeah,
you
that
gonna swallow it. You gonna choke on it if you don't. Just go ahead and swallow it, take it, because
go with it.
we all live in our one life similarly, and we're all experiencing life the way we experience it. Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's different. We know somebody that's like that, may not be us. We know somebody like that in whatever subject it is. We all understand, and that's what laughter does: make us all understand together in that moment, and we experience it. We experience it. It's
Definitely.
a roller coaster ride. Yeah.
Hey man, I think we might have just came up with Bill Cosby's new comedy tour title. Oh, you gonna swallow it?
Oh, did you? I don't know if it's true, but I caught something on social media. They're charging him again. Another woman came forward again.
Oh, come
Again.
on, lady. Come
I'm
on, lady.
like,
See, that
I'm
should
like,
that
I'm
come
talking about
on.
like 1972.
Yeah, come on, man. That should be like the PPL long. You missed in getting in on the class action. Man, this man is what, 90 something now?
He might as well be he's older than Methuselah at this point. You
Man.
should let that man let that man.
I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive because it ain't my wife, my mama, my daughters, or nothing like. But come on, listen. It's 2023, and you just now coming out from 1972. Were you still asleep from the pill, or you just said, "Hey, I need some change"? But they let the white lady go ahead and die that lied on Emmett Till, and she didn't see no jail time. So
Okay.
come on,
That
man.
lady, that if that lady's complaining about a pill as if she ain't on some kind of medication right now. That was 50 years ago.
Right,
51 years ago. 51. How many pills has she taken since?
man.
I don't know if that's I think that's not. I'm gonna say this definitively. I'm gonna stand on it right here and say, here we go again. Oh, Bill Cosby, he must have got paid. Oh, let's see if we can get some. They try to
Man,
drain that man of his resources, access, power, and influence, and they're not gonna let that man uh, live his life. They already put him in jail.
yep.
What you gonna do? Put him back in jail?
That's
What
come
for?
on,
What?
man.
That woman, whoever it is, they can find anybody. Lies. Let that man. It's Bill Cosby. I don't care
Yeah,
what you think about him, whatever. All I know is people don't read. People believe anything that they hear until they hear otherwise or read different. And here we go again. Let that man alone.
let him rest,
Go
man.
on, yeah. Let that
He
man
did
alone.
some time on it. He did his time on it. It was overturned. Let it be. And I
Yeah, let
mean,
it be.
if it happened to you, our prayers for you. Hope you can get over it. But come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Like I remember Dick Gregory, the late great legendary Dick Gregory. Joe said, "They're not gonna let our black celebrity men get up out of here without a drug scandal, a sex scandal, or a criminalized background. They're not going to let us get out of here without making us be a sex crave star, a junkie, or just a flat out criminal, man. And as you can see, from R. Kelly, Michael Jackson to Bill Cosby, they not letting it happen.
Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman. He's a womanizer. Man, he is 3'2" womanizer.
What? Hey Joe, what are you gonna do? Hey girl, hey, down here.
Well, they won't let nobody. What? You have some success?
Yes.
Demonize him. Get money. How much money do you got? Why don't they? Man, these bigots out here, boy. Why don't they just look? We want your money.
Just be honest.
Just be honest.
You make me feel bad about myself. You drop my self-esteem when I see y'all flare.
We don't like your success. Watch, before it's all said and done, they're going to pull out Emmanuel Lewis. What has Emmanuel Lewis been doing for the past 50 years? We knew it. I mean, Emmanuel Lewis.
Hey, Joe, they're going to get Emmanuel Lewis. He gonna come out 97 women accuses Emmanuel Lewis for booby groping them when they picked him up.
And you just now saying something. And you just now saying something. Boy.
He felt me up when I would pick him up.
Man, they won't let nobody. I don't care what it is. Dick Gregory, he don't play. He'll yell at you.
Yeah,
he'll yell at he said he shouted it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
It's a game. The black man. I mean, he ran for president. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yep.
And almost won.
Yep. Can you picture if Dick Gregory had a won? You hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. People will be like, that is that Frederick Douglass? Or who is that? If Dick Gregory was president, then boy, it would have been an argument at every press conference. He pull out his folder with documentation. You know, my research team came up with this. What you got to say about that? He would show America to America and just cuss them out.
Boy.
And then get on Air Force One and go back to St. Louis somewhere.
Every press conference would start with some Vaseline.
Yeah, and start with some CarMax. You see. See, white folks. He says white folks with that hard WH. What? White folks.
Oh man! Hey, before I let you out of here, Joe.
You know, Dick Gregory was like the first, mainstream black headliner, right? You know that?
Yeah.
He opened a lot of doors for stand-up comedians,
and would walk to a lot of those places. He would walk already dressed up. He would walk in a lot of those spaces and unapologetically bring the black man's essence of intellect, charisma, class into those rooms and force those white-only audiences to bow down to his superior thinking and intellect and brand of comedy. So shout out to the legend, the late great Dick Gregory.
Yep.
Yeah. So before you get out of here, Joe, let me ask you, man, speaking of side pieces, side chicks, Travis Kelce, man, it's a whole lot of sisters here in Kansas City upset with Travis Kelce. He done left the black side. He done made a liar as to once you go black, you don't go back. I've been telling sisters for years that's only coming from our side.
Why?
Amen.
Why are sisters upset?
I guess they feel like they had an opportunity, had a chance, but the man done got with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift said, let me tell y'all something. I may not have the curves y'all got, but y'all ain't got the zeros I got. You hear me? So she done made him cut She done made him cut his beard, and he's now wearing that state patrol mustache, state trooper mustache, man.
State trooper, state
You know,
trooper. Look
you
like
know,
yeah.
you know, went from
I'm looking at some of these pictures. It look like he got a body cam on him, right? And every one of the pictures, man, this is a shame.
it is, man.
It really is a shame. Sisters, stop being heartbroken. Stop this. I don't know what it is about when sisters live vicariously through another sister when she has a celebrity athlete white man on her arm. We need to stop that. Stop that, sisters. There's
Yeah,
plenty of brothers that would have you, and even if they not a football player and got all the money, it's a problem. I don't like it. Social media is causing a lot of attention to come to this subject, but dating outside your race and all that stuff is it if that's an option for you, go ahead. But look, there's nothing like when brothers and sisters come together in black love and forget all that, all the difficulties and six-figure incomes and all that other stuff. All man, just love one another. Be in love, sign the prenup, and if you have to have a side piece on it, look, understand that you just made the wrong decision, but live with it the best way you can and let that man live if necessary. And don't sue and divorce rape nobody.
there you go. There you go. There you go. And shout out to the side pieces of our granddaddies and great granddaddies because
That's what I've been trying to say, man. Look,
yeah,
shout out to them because they knew how to keep a secret and keep the family together. See, people don't want to talk about that. I don't
that's
glorify
right.
it, but it is a thankless position. They never get no gratitude. But
That's right.
side chicks back in the day, they were the unsung heroes of the black family. They kept
That's right.
marriages together, and they're gonna go to hell for it. But I mean, we thank them. What what the devil meant for evil, God meant for
God
good.
turned it for good. That's right. That's right. Because it was the right one sitting on the front row at the funeral, even
Oh,
though these other new kids came up. At least she kept her word. Now,
oh yeah, she
Cecil,
was
I'm gonna keep my
consistent.
mouth shut till you die. Now, when they put the flowers on top of the casket, I got to bring my boys up front now.
You see that? See, people don't want to talk about that, man. See, the old man's funeral is a side chick's hall of fame, and that is the last time to get some kind of recognition. That's her day. You know, she's like a partial widow for a day. Just let her shed her tear and pay. I think all widows should thank that side chick, for all the stuff that she didn't have to do uh, or deal with.
Hey Joe, she kept him in the house with you, even when he stepped out on you. She told him, she said, now, Cecil, you can't lay your head here all night, baby. You got to go back home. You got to go back home. You got to
Send
get
him
back to
back home.
Mildred.
People
Yeah,
don't want to accept that, DL. You really think that hot water cornbread kept that man faithful? No, it was that side chick that understood that marriage is important.
that's right. That's right. That's right. And whatever I have to do to console you, you know what I mean, to get you back to Mildred, then that's what we're going to do. Hey, Joe, any parting remarks, man, that you want to do, bro? I appreciate you hanging out backstage with us.
I appreciate you having me, man. Call me anytime if schedule permits. I'd love to come back. To all you listeners, hey, enjoy life, celebrate life, enjoy the small victories, man, and just make sure you see some stand-up comedy. Add that to your life, laughter in your life. Before the next pandemic comes and all the cryptocurrencies, they're gonna take your money and before everything falls apart, man. Make sure you get a few laughs before it all goes. Before Trump gets back in the office. before the take your booty to the polls and come out. What is it gonna be this time? First, it was get your booty to the pole. There was back that vax up.
Right.
What's
That's the one that killed me. Back that vax up.
back that vax up? What's next, DL? What's next? I think it's gonna be full frontal. It's gonna be Megan the Stallion and Suki Dookie,
Honor.
whatever her name is, full frontal and with a I voted patch on their chest.
Now, Megan to get me to the polls. Hey, can you see that commercial, Joe? Megan swing off a pole and say, "From the pole to the polls, follow me."
What are they gonna do next? I would encourage all you brothers and sisters that's registered to vote. Vote because you want to be a responsible voter, if there is such a thing. Don't be swayed by people whopping.
Face down.
This is
Joe, where can they find you, bro? Where can they find you, man?
They can find me. They can find me when I come to your city. We got Dayton coming up next. Dayton. I don't have the dates, but we'll be there. But just follow me online. Joe Feezy is right there on your screen. I would love to chop it up with you in the comments section. And hey, man, much continued success to you, brother. I hope you're well with your family, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hang in backstage with us, Joe. Don't run off real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, okay. Put your hands together once more and again, Mr. Joe Feezy, Joe Fox. He's on the Rock the Mic tour with Tony Rock. Let Tony know, man, we're a big fan backstage, and we keep y'all in our prayers, bro. Hang tight. Hey, yo, that's it, man. Another dope conversation with another dope conversationalist. Yours truly, the voice, Mr. Sadwell Fair, comedian DL Marshall. Man, remember, you can catch us backstage on iHeart, Spotify. We got 13 different markets. We've got 3 international cities. And, man, guess what? We're coming back home October the 7th, KPRT 1590. We backstage. DL's Backstage Pass, the repass. Now go figure that. Hey, remember, the gospel of Jesus Christ is contagious. Catch it. All that you do, do it godly. Until the next time, we be blessed.